back in my room after another nail biter. India's making us go to the brink, playing around with our emotions before finally letting us go through. And it was one more of those games today. It was to some extent affected by the weather, which made it a slightly shortened game, but we'll come to that in just a moment. I thought there were many pluses. The number one plus was yet another wonderful innings from Virat Kohli. I asked him at the presentation, actually. I said, do you feel you're back to where Virat Kohli was? And all he was willing to say was, I'm in a very happy place just now. And I must admit, just watching him go around, watching the interactions with him before and after, that he's looking very, very relaxed. And I just wonder if there's another big Virat Kohli boom coming up around the corner, because he's relaxed, he's happy with where he is, and he's controlling innings once again. When Virat Kohli starts to control innings, then he becomes a different player. As he said, the moment he knew the World Cup is in Australia, he was feeling great about it. He said when he comes to the Adelaide Oval, it's just a different vibe for him. But these are conditions that require quality batsmanship. And the moment you require quality batsmanship, then Virat Kohli rises up. He doesn't have to go and slam from the first ball. So I think that's one big thing. I think he himself and Rohit Sharma and everybody else will be happy that KL Rahul got runs. There were reports about Virat Kohli working with KL Rahul in the nets. I'm sure Rahul Dravid was working with him as well. Because when KL Rahul gets runs, it seems to take the pressure off everybody. Everybody seems happier. So that was the other plus. But to me, as much of a plus as Virat Kohli's continued form was seeing Arshdeep. I mean, Rohit Sharma told me in the post-match press conference that once they knew Bumrah was not there, they've worked on Arshdeep. They've told him, we want you to play that role. And it was very interesting, if you notice, when they came back after the rain break, Arshdeep had bowled 1 over, Bhuvneshwar had bowled 3 and Shami had bowled 2. So we thought, okay, maybe Bhuvi will bowl 1, Arshdeep will bowl 2 and Shami will bowl 1, because one bowler was allowed to bowl 4. But it speaks of Rohit's trust in this young man, already still so young, that he said, no, I'll give him all 3. So it came down to 3 of Arshdeep. I'm just so happy for that young man, because he's now getting the ball to swing. He's bowling the bouncer, he's bowling the yorker, but he kept his cool. So that was one big plus, because at least initially it looked like Liton Das was going to take the game away. I mean, people who followed my blogs will know how much I've always rated Liton Das. But I think the rain came in the way, because at the point at which it rained, they were so far ahead of Duckworth Lewis that India actually wanted a longer game to stretch out the number of runs required. And you could see Rohit was worried. We were just watching the discussion with Murray Erasmus and the 2 captains. Rohit seemed a little anxious about what it would be. If anything, Shakib looked a little more animated. Maybe Shakib wanted a shorter game, because shorter game would have helped Bangladesh a little bit more. And as it turned out, 16 over game. What I found very interesting was what the curator did. Now, the curator absolutely backs his radar. And we were hearing that the curator trusts his radar. And we were told all along that this one burst that's coming close to the ground, once that passes, there is nothing. And so the curator knew that as soon as this rain passed, he could start play. So he actually started getting ready for play before the rain had gone. That's my interpretation. I don't know if that's the way he planned it. That's my interpretation. And so you could see he took out some of the side covers. The Hessian was not removed. The main cover on top of the Hessian, on top of the pitch, was not removed. That was only removed once they were absolutely certain that the rain had passed. They just took the other covers out, because remember, the curator's primary responsibility is to ensure that there is as much play as possible. Yes, he has to look after the interests of the players. He has to ensure that it is safe. But his primary responsibility is to ensure that play gets underway, and he backed the radar. And as it turned out, he was absolutely correct. So the fact that the 2 umpires and the curator got along and ensured there was as much play as possible was to me one of the big pluses. These curators are very, very good in Australia. So there you are. We've had another little nail biter. But in India now, almost certain to go through. I mean, you've still got to wait and see the results of the last day, because Bangladesh could catch up. Zimbabwe might upset India. All those things are there. But I saw Zimbabwe play earlier today, and I didn't think they had the depth and the energy and just to get past India. So almost there, but another cliffhanger. I thought Bangladesh were a little unlucky today, I'll be honest to admit. They just didn't have that one senior, strong player who would take the game deep as the asking rate started to go up. So there you are, good game, lots of positives as well. And I'm coming back to my room and still thinking, right, what all happened today, because India's giving us too many nail biters.